What is going on in the Baltic Sea? Guys, welcome to the channel, The More Survivalist. We try to stay updated on what's going on all over the world, and sabotage yet again in the Baltic Sea. Wasn't it Ukraine? Wasn't I told by some of the mainstream media? I saw always, well, apparently not. Apparently there's some Chinese cutting cables. This is communications. This is sabotage. They are cutting cables of communication, of internet communication in the sea. Let's check this out.
Has described the severing of 2 fibre optic cables under the Baltic Sea as an act of sabotage. Now, according to media reports, the Danish Navy was shadowing a Chinese cargo ship that left the Baltic after the telecommunications cables were cut. Pistorius says the damage appeared deliberate and could represent an act of hybrid warfare.
Yeah.
Undersea cables like this one are critical for carrying communications between countries. The apparent sabotage on Monday morning hit the Sea Lion 1 cable that runs under the Baltic between the German port city of Rostock and the Finnish capital Helsinki. Officials from Finland and Germany have said the incident was very unlikely to be accidental.
Nobody believes that these cables were cut by mistake. I don't believe the theory that it was anchors that accidentally caused damage to these cables. So we have to conclude, without knowing exactly who did it, that it was a hybrid action. And we must also assume, without knowing it of course, that it is sabotage.
The foreign ministers of Germany, France, Poland, Italy, Spain and the UK said Moscow's escalating hybrid activities against NATO and EU countries are unprecedented in their variety and scale, creating a significant security risk. This comes just one day after a similar underseas cable between Sweden and Lithuania was damaged. That cut Lithuania's internet capacity by 1/3. Similar incidents in Africa have caused internet blackouts in the past. There are many more such cables in the seas around Europe. Authorities in the region are on high alert.
And we can get more on this from Kadri Leek, a senior policy fellow at the European Council on Foreign Relations. Kadri, let's assume that this was sabotage. Tell us about the benefits of disrupting communication networks. How does this help whoever's done it?
Well, if it is Russia behind it, as many people suspect, then that would probably be messaging. I mean, for Russia, it is a dangerous moment in its war in Ukraine. They are advancing, but there are ceasefire proposals on the horizon, so Moscow would obviously want to push the West to agree to a ceasefire in Moscow's terms, and it can hope that President Trump might come close to that, but it is quite clear that European countries have different views. So in that context, I would take that as a signaling that don't try to push your terms on us, you are vulnerable.
Okay, and what about the consequences? I mean, what kind of disruption does this create for both people and governments?
Well, internet cables, there are, of course, backups. So for now, I don't think anything dramatic has happened. But always such things create problems. You need to...
It's the idea of I can hit you whenever I want. I can just cut your communications. I can do a number of things to make life very, very difficult for you.
And crews to repair it. You need to have spare capacity, and certain things are actually harder to repair than others. I mean, gas pipelines, it can take a long while, and that can then already push up gas prices. So these are problematic things in any case, even if the immediate effect is not so dramatic.
So if we are possibly going to see more of this kind of sabotage, I mean, is there enough protection for undersea infrastructure under current international law?
I am not sure. I don't think you can ever have enough protection. I mean, there are so many...
I'm pretty sure you can have patrolling across the more vulnerable regions and just not let them in anymore.
Cables, how do you guard them effectively? Do you have crews of guards where, I mean, cables are long, it's hundreds of kilometers, so it is hard to do in any case. What you could do, I mean, you could try to attribute the incidents. Naming and shaming can have some deterrence effect in the future, but also attributing has ups and downs. Not always it is so clear who is the culprit, and at other times...
I mean, in this case, it is a Chinese boat that was there in both cases, in both cables. That was what I got from another video, not this one they mentioned. Anyway, so it was this boat, this Chinese boat, obviously working for the Russian government, and it was found in one cable before it was cut, and then it was found in the other cable before it was cut. So they know it was a Chinese boat, which makes things interesting in terms of how things are being aligned. Now, it's not just Russia anymore, it's Russia and North Korean soldiers, and now China being involved in this as well. It's basically East versus West, very much so. Guys, very interesting stuff. Hope you have a great day. See you on the next video. Take care.